Hello, I'm Bill Wasch. On today's edition of Seniors Living a Quality Life, we'll learn more about issues important to seniors and their families. In our first segment, we'll find out what elder law attorneys do and how seniors are benefiting from their expertise. Next, we'll explore the wide variety of programming available to older adults at senior centers across the state. Then we visit Dolly McLean at the Artists Collective, an organization that has become synonymous with arts and culture in Hartford's North End. And finally, we'll learn more about the issue of driver safety and how seniors can actively participate in extending their driving years. All up next on this edition of Seniors Living a Quality Life. So stay with us. First up, we find out more about the specialized work of elder law attorneys and how they are helping seniors navigate the complex financial and healthcare issues that are facing them.
My husband was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. It was devastating news, and I really did not know how to deal with all the issues. It was a very confusing, disturbing time for me, and I was really overwhelmed and scared, and I just got a lot of help here. Whitney is very knowledgeable. He's also very easy to talk to and very compassionate and just does everything right.
We do this through two different legal documents. One is a power of attorney, and the other is a set of healthcare instructions. We have people come in who are emotionally distraught. I mean, they're looking at a change in their own health or a change in the relationship of their loved one. They're worried that they might lose their loved one. They're concerned about their ability to remain at home. One of the first concerns people discuss with me when they come to see me is whether they will lose their home. There's a special kind of lawyer who offers services in the elder law field, and it's one who has to be sensitive to all those issues.
Okay, Rosemary, let's sit right here. When people come to see an attorney and they want to address issues that involve an elderly person, whether it's benefits issues or documentation issues, it's very important to find an attorney who's familiar with this area of practice. And that's because the area of practice is very complicated. And I think one of the questions you had was here in Article 1. You weren't quite sure if the language meant what you thought it was going to mean. So let me just summarize.
Connecticut's very expensive to be sick in, and it wouldn't take very long for people who have substantial resources to expend them. And when we're working with a couple, especially, and one is sick, there's a real threat to the financial security of the spouse. Often the person who's been the caregiver at home, that he or she will be left with very little. So that's not the case. It doesn't have to result that way. There are steps to take to help the caregiver and the patient receive the care that they need and still be financially secure, and we counsel people about how to do that. The document for finances is called a durable power of attorney.
Well, my husband declined very, very fast, and if I didn't have the power of attorney and living will, I would have no say in his health care. He had wonderful doctors. We were very fortunate, and at the same time, to have a lawyer that is just as good, and it certainly made taking care of my husband a lot easier and smooth and sane. We planned enough ahead so that I can live comfortably, and Social Security helps.
People generally, when they're approaching lawyers and thinking about documents, think first about the wills and perhaps trusts, and many people have taken care of that already. Those are important documents, but they're not the ones that we need to use when people are facing declining health. We need arrangements to make sure that people have help while they're alive, and there are two documents that can do that. Advanced Directives for Health Care, sometimes called health care instructions, in which the individual is able to nominate a health care agent, someone who will express his or her choices about medical care in the event that they can't express them themselves because they've become too sick. We can include a living will in that document, which is a statement about a person's choice concerning life support systems. A companion to that is a power of attorney. This is a document which essentially allows a person to designate an agent who will be able to manage that person's finances for him or her if they become too sick to do so.
It's not uncommon for people to be worried about the cost of hiring an attorney for elder law planning purposes. There are organizations that offer a list of attorneys who can often provide services at discounted or even at pro bono rates. And one source for that sort of information might be something like the Connecticut Legal Services Office.
This is Karen Sears from Connecticut Legal Services. Hi, can you talk to me now?
Connecticut Legal Services is a nonprofit law firm. We're not a state agency. There's no fee for clients that are eligible for our service, that are low income and moderate income, and also have a civil legal matter that we handle. You know, we're getting the word out, and seniors are realizing that they have somebody that can help them. Within Connecticut Legal Services, we have a group of elder law attorneys, and they're located throughout the state. And these lawyers are specialists. I mean, they're specialists in poverty law, and they're specialists in elder work, and they're very capable, competent, caring people.
There are things that you can do about that, and the best thing you can do is find out as soon as you can. Any person in Connecticut, actually any person in the nation, if they're over the age of 60, is eligible for legal services, and no one who calls our offices walks away or hangs up empty-handed. They either are told who they might talk to, or they're put in touch with an advocate who can give them specific advice about their problem.
What do I do about that?
In the legal services community, unlike in criminal cases where you have a constitutional right to have an attorney appointed to represent you if you're poor, you don't have that same right in civil legal matters. So because of that, we have priorities. In the elderly area, for people that are 60 or over, one of the big areas of concerns is health insurance. We also do housing, where if a senior has housing problems, could potentially get evicted, that would be a priority. We also do what's called advanced care directives, living wills. Consumer work's an important area. Another important area for us is trying to advocate for residents in nursing homes. What we don't do is we don't do criminal work. We don't do testamentary wills, we don't do estate planning, and generally we don't do bankruptcies.
If a person has the ability to hire a private attorney, we stay out of those areas and we concentrate on the areas where a person wouldn't necessarily have the ability to hire a private attorney.
If a senior was looking for legal services, they could call our 800 number, which is 1-800-413-7797. If a senior has access to a computer, they could go to our elder law website, which again is www.ctelderlaw.org.
It's very important to start this sort of planning process sooner rather than later, because if you wait too long, it's not going to work out the way you may have hoped. And the reason for that is that if no plans are put into effect, you don't have a will, you don't have a power of attorney, you don't have a healthcare instructions document, then some family member is going to have to go to a court, and it becomes a rather long, cumbersome, somewhat expensive process.
You should have all these documents in place, which I do now, you know, power of attorney, advance directives, will, living will. It's important to get all that in place, and you don't know what's going to come your way. You just can't prepare for everything, but you can prepare your financial life with the right advice.
Next up, we learn about the wide array of programs senior centers are offering to attract seniors of all ages.
My philosophy on programming for seniors is that it should reflect their interests and their needs. And we try to involve the seniors themselves in the planning, very often teaching the classes. It gets them actively involved with it, and it does reflect what they really would like to see. It's their center.
This is the Baldwin Center's writing class, and we have learned so much. We've been together over 10 years, and We're just like one big happy family, I would say. We share our good times and sad times. Just can't wait to come to class.
The creative writing class at the center has been here for quite a number of years. They're a great group. They have their teacher who has really worked with them. They've had several publications.
Okay, today I'm asking you to write a scene in which a character returns home after an extended absence.
We have homework every week. We read it in class, and then you see right now, we're doing a project right here.
The programming here is very diverse. We include activities that will appeal both to young active seniors, exercise classes, computer classes, language arts, book discussions, and so forth. Then we also have the traditional senior center activities such as bingo and line dancing and quilting and so on.
We're just glad that we're just not sitting home and people think seniors in the rocking chairs, but we're not. And we're proud of our work, and we really enjoy it.
I think some of the stigma among senior centers is still often that it's a place for quote-unquote old people, and no one wants to see themselves as old. But again, we're changing that, and I think that helps with the programming. Bringing in activities like creative writing, Tai Chi, and other kinds of activities that are geared for all age groups is beginning to change that stigma.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good, how's your day?
All right.
The computer class has been running for as long as the seniors been here. We have an advanced computer class and a beginner's computer class. Seniors are beginning to find, be their children or their grandchildren, the way to communicate as opposed to the telephone if they learn how to email.
I took 2 of the beginners class and I took 2 of the advanced classes. I don't have a computer at home, so I come here. I go into my emails and see who has emailed me, just like now I'm reading a story from the Citizen Community Police Fake, which I'm on that board.
Well, the ping pong, that again was something that the seniors came to me, that's what they wanted. I was surprised because it exerts a lot of physical, but the seniors, they want to stay in shape. And you usually see them here during the evening hours because they're seniors that still work during the day. So we offer that for them in the evening.
See what'll happen when you get it, you have it right in, see?
Sewing, I found that a lot of seniors were excellent seamstresses when they were a lot younger. And when we offered the sewing, it just brought them back to what they used to do. Now this sewing class runs year-round, and it culminates with a big fashion show at the end of it where they strut their stuff and they invite their children and their grandchildren. It's just a happy time here.
Try to do it as slowly as you can without her plunking down into that chair. Good.
Health programs are very important in most senior centers. The simple blood pressure screening, for example, is offered at most senior centers. It offers an individual an opportunity both to check their blood pressure and to visit with a health professional.
Well, it's 160 over 90. And that's a little higher than what we usually
get for you.
Yeah, I know it is,
but I can get it down.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take this again for you. Okay.
Exercise is an important part of our health and wellness promotion. People participate in yoga classes. People participate in the seated exercise class. It's important for us to provide that kind of thing.
I think the New Milford Senior Center is tremendously active in seeking healthcare professionals from various adjuncts and bringing them together to focus on the community and the people.
Exercise class is terrific. I've been doing exercise here for over 10 years, and it helps your arthritis. I told my doctor when I first came, I says, you know, I'm taking exercise classes and I don't have arthritis anymore. I get it, but it goes away.
There's a couple gals that have severe arthritis, and exercise has been proven to be a great advocate in decreasing pain, stiffness, and improving joint range of motion, which will allow them to do more of their functional daily activities at a higher level, maintain their independence.
Ready, we'll try that again. Deep breath in, legs up. 1, 2, 3, and down.
There is the most extraordinary array of programs throughout the state. There are music programs and educational programs and health programs, and you have intergenerational programming at one center. The array is just stupendous, and it differs from center to center.
Besides having senior center activities here, we sort of expanded into including intergenerational programming. We have an after-school program, and that's based on local children, and basically they come, they receive some mentoring, some help with their homework, and some extracurricular activities.
This is my first day cooking. I'm good at this. Me too. This is my third time cooking.
We have a cook on site, and we have an ethnic meal that's given to our elderly. Food, like in many cultures, it just connects you. It's just so nostalgic for people that have had to leave their place of origin.
That's Puerto Rican style.
Basically, green bananas made into a wonderful mixture, and it smells delicious, and they make it, oh, just so tasty. It smells really delicious in here. Arts and craft, it's another universal thing in terms of all senior centers. It's another way of socializing and connecting. And many people have learned many of their crafts making through family members.
My name is Julia Hernandez from Puerto Rico. I spend the time here doing some crochet. I love it. It keeps you from thinking about your health.
I think it's a time of challenge for senior centers. Many senior centers are dealing with enormous change in funding, in perception of importance, in acceptance within both the community as a whole and the elder community, and it's a kind of an organization that needs to continue to grow and change. We need to be responsive to those people who receive our services. We need to be responsive to the people who've never received them and are exploring them.
Now we're in for a treat. Next up, we'll visit with Hartford resident Dolly McLean, who has helped bring the richness of the arts to Hartford's North End community.
I fell in love with dance at the age of 5 or 6 years old. I had an aunt who took me to Radio City Music Hall and to the Apollo and to the Strand Theater. I just loved what I saw on stage. It was so exciting. I always wanted to be a performer, but I kind of put that to rest at some point. Once I became involved in the administrative part of it, building it, directing it, I just felt that that was my best place.
I first met Mrs. McLean when I was a student at the University of Hartford. When I was in Jackie McLean's African-American music history course, he had always spoke about his wife Dolly and the Artists Collective. They were like synonymous.
1, 2, 3.
The Artists Collective is a multi-art cultural institution. We teach dance, drama, music, visual arts. We serve approximately 1,200 students a year, and many of them start with us at 2 and 3 years old, and they don't leave until they're 17 or 18 when they go off to college.
I've been playing the drums since the age of 4. I've been going to the Artists Collective for about 13 years, on and off now. I call Artists Collective Hartford's Africa. It has taught me so much about my heritage.
1, 2. Again, 1, 2. We've used the arts as a support base to really deal with some of the problems that we find in our community, which is one of Hartford's poorest communities. We've watched any number of young people just go out into the world where they have a much better sense of themselves because we based it on the arts and culture of the African diaspora.
Some kids are into music, some are into dance, some are into visual arts. And just coming here with them, talking with them, seeing each other perform, encouraging each other is such a beautiful experience.
And then we have to put the program together. I'm meeting with Kathy and Ellie tomorrow to start talking about the program.
Right, okay.
What that
Mrs. McLean has a fiery unquenching determination to accomplish whatever she seeks to accomplish, to provide a change in the community. She has the kind of influence that could change a person's life.
It's having a passion for doing what it is one does and doing it at its very best. If we're good people, it transcends and it touches others.
Coming up, we'll explore ways you can improve your driving safety and extend your driving years.
Older drivers, as a group, are very, very safe drivers. For the most part, we see that older drivers represent only about 8% of the accidents on the road, so we don't worry about older adults as a group, who in fact, people in their 50s and 60s are among the safest drivers on the road, and then by about age 70 or 75, people sometimes begin to develop problems. There are programs that exist today that can help older drivers in many ways. It's great when people take a defensive driving class, for example, to improve their driving skills.
Driving today, we our age, we got to be that much more careful.
The AARP Driver Safety Program is designed for drivers over the age of 50 to improve their driving habits, increase their margin of safety, and generally make them much more defensive drivers.
So when the walk light is on, you shouldn't turn right.
No. They have the right of way.
Yeah. We decided to take the AARP course to refresh our memories, and I like to bring myself up to date in any new things that are happening. As we get older, we want to be constantly aware of the signs, the signals, and be aware always of what's happening on the roads so that we can react as quickly as possible. I learned also about how to protect yourself when you're out in a parking lot or in a shopping mall.
My wife and I decided that it would be a good idea to sit in on this course. I thought I needed some more experience in learning about how to handle the road defensively.
There is an important difference between the terms aggressive driving and road rage.
I learned how you deal with aggressive drivers who drive too closely. If somebody's too close, you don't slow down because that can create a problem.
The program is an 8-hour course, usually split into 2 4-hour sessions. The course is entirely classroom, there is no road work, there are no tests. In the year 2003, in Connecticut, 15,300 people took the course, and nationwide, 720,000 people took the course. People who take the course show a reduction in accidents among that age group of around 10%. In most of the states in the Union, there is a law which mandates an insurance rebate for anybody who completes this or any other defensive driving course. That rebate in Connecticut is applied to drivers over the age of 62 who must get at least 5% for at least 2 years on the liability sections of their insurance.
And a lot of things have changed since we were younger. The traffic regulations have changed, the vehicles have changed, and we've changed.
We cover age-related problems such as failing eyesight, failing hearing, and deterioration of bodily functions, and we try to tell them how to compensate for these. We discuss medications, we discuss alcohol, and we spend quite a lot of time talking about various other road users and how to work around them.
Another thing that was very important too is the medicines that we take and how they react to driving.
Older drivers are very good at self-assessing, knowing when they need to begin to limit driving. And the kind of things that drivers do, not driving at night or limiting night driving, but other things that people do, they limit driving in unfamiliar areas where it's more of a challenge. For most older drivers, eliminating the highest risk part of driving is the way to continue driving longer.
If seniors can be safer on the road and know a bit more about how to deal with the various problems which arise on the road, then they are likely to be driving many more years than in the past.
Thanks for watching this edition of Seniors Living a Quality Life. Join us next time when we explore other issues of interest to older adults and visit with ordinary seniors who are doing extraordinary things.
So if you need to say the first sentence of the next thing, you can if you want to.
Would you like me to? But
sure, if you want to.
That's no problem.
In our first segment, you can just say that one thing.
And then start the first segment.
Just say in our first segment. You can do that one little phrase.
That one phrase.
To get us into the next one. Okay, so that was take one. Good energy when you come in. This is right after the title, so you have to, this is the big energy. Okay, and this is going to be take two and action.
Hello, I'm Bill Wasch.
These phone numbers and websites can provide you with more information about the programs and services in this episode of Seniors Living a Quality Life. Or visit cptv.org. Seniors Living a Quality Life was made possible by the generous contribution of our presenting sponsor, Masonacare, with additional support from Qualidime, Kearns & Kearns of West Hartford, the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, and Doncaster.
A production of CPTV Connecticut.